Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Since I moved to Russia over 20 years ago, I've picked up lots of Russian habits, and that's what I'm going to talk about today as I walk around this housing development. Now, I'm going to tell you straight away, this housing development, it's got some good points and some bad points. The first thing I don't like is the main road is not far away, so you can hear cars going past all the time. The second thing is, because all the plots of land have been bought individually, some people have built their homes, some people are already living in their homes, some people haven't started building at all, some are half developed, and so essentially people are going to be living on a building site until everything's ready. And people may not decide to build for 20 years, and so this is one of the things you've really got to look out for in Russia if you're going to be purchasing your own plot of land and building a house, to make sure that hopefully you're one of the last people to move there. But then if you're one of the last people to move to the settlement, it's going to be more expensive. So do you want to live on a building site where the roads are not finished or nothing is going to get done until all the houses are built? It's a weird one and it's a difficult one. But these are some of the things that I advise you and tell you are the reasons to watch my channel, so you can learn about stuff like this. So when you come to Russia, you have the best chance of finding somewhere that is paradise for you. This house is really nice, isn't it? I love the style of those bricks, really cool, right? Well, not bricks, but what are they, like blocks? And then this here, you can see people are already living here. But of course, this is what it looks like living on a building site. Of course, we've got an empty plot here, and it's anyone's guess as to when the person might start building, if ever. Single floor housing is becoming much more popular in Russia. So the first habit that I've noticed that I picked up is saying "Oi" when I'm surprised by something or something terrifying a little bit happens. I'll say "Oi," like, oh, that made me jump. Or if I'm watching football and my team almost concedes a goal, I'm like "Oi." Whew. And that is a Russian thing, and I noticed that when I'm sitting with non-Russians. I remember being in the UK and I was watching football, and automatically I will say "Oi," and people will be like, "What? Who does that?" And that's just something that Russians say. So if you want to sound Russian, then "Oi" is something that you want to use if you're surprised by something or something frightens you. "Oi." So this house is brand new, but it looks like an old style house. And then over here, have a look at this one. This is nice, isn't it? Guessing people are living here as well already. Someone's done the foundations. The second habit that I've picked up is drinking tea without milk. In the UK, we all drink tea with milk. It's something that just happens from birth, it seems. When you're drinking tea, tea comes with milk. So if you go to someone's house and they ask if you want a cup of tea, I'll put the kettle on. It's obviously English people drink loads of tea, but you'll get your tea with milk unless you tell them that I don't drink milk with tea. And I only drank tea with milk when I lived in the UK. I didn't even probably know that people drank tea without milk. But then when you come to Russia, they don't particularly drink tea with milk. And so slowly over time, I started to try different teas, different types of tea. Whereas in the UK, it's just tea bags, black tea with milk, right? With cream even. And so now I'm in Russia and I've been drinking tea without milk for so many years that now when I go back to the UK, I have to make sure to tell people, yeah, I'll have tea, but don't put milk in it. And people are like, what? That's weird. I'm sure this is going to be really nice when it's all done. But when's that going to be? These yellow pipes represent gas. So this is a place where you can connect your gas for this plot of land here. in Russia, when people are building, quite often the person that's building might live on the plot. So they have these little sheds that they can temporarily live in while they're building and store obviously tools and things inside. So here we've got quite a few that look very similar. So I'm guessing one company perhaps has purchased quite a few plots of land and they're building a few houses, and then perhaps they're going to sell them. So you can see we've got high-speed internet here. So next we have a few foods that I like and cannot live without, as Russians cannot live without them either. The first one is cottage cheese, but European cottage cheese and Eastern European cottage cheese completely different. Cottage cheese, I have it with Greek yogurt in the morning and I put berries on top of it, and it's absolutely amazing. It's a great meal any time in the day. And obviously cottage cheese, people use them to make syrniki also, which is a famous Russian breakfast food. The next one that I can't live without is caviar. Absolutely love caviar. The worst thing about being on a keto diet at the moment is I can't have bread with a layer of butter and then caviar on top. Absolutely amazing. That'll be the first thing that I eat when I stop my keto diet. And then finally, the third one is smoked fish. Russians love their fish. Obviously Russia is surrounded by lots of different coastlines, and so Russian fish are incredible. This house, look, is for sale. Anyone wants to live on the edge of Vladimir, there's the number to call. All different types of houses. This one looks very white, very nice. This one has a Christmas wreath on the door, so they're living there then. And also in Russia we have these kind of, I don't know what the best word is, perhaps they're called appetizers, all these different types of little bits of food that accompany drinking, especially beer. There's all sorts of little snacks, lots of dried fish, kind of things like beef jerky in the US, loads of types of snacks like that that I absolutely love also. This is really nice, but it's so close to the main road. Nice from this angle as well. So there's some things that are just so Russian, and the next one is exactly Russian. It's sitting in your garden in summer, eating sunflower seeds and drinking a beer. Now this doesn't have to be your garden. This could be the bench outside your block of apartments. This could be in the park. This could even be sitting in your car. In summer, I'll have sunflower seeds and I'll be driving along in my car and I'll be eating sunflower seeds and dropping the shells out the window. They're great for when you get stuck in traffic, and Russians are really good at opening the sunflowers. So we use the ones that are slightly salted, fried and salted. The most popular ones are called From Martina, Ot Martina. They're really, really nice. There's two flavors, there's salted and non-salted. Red is non-salted, blue is salted. And Russians are so good at opening them. Like, I put them in my mouth and open it and then take it out. But Russians can put the whole thing in their mouth, somehow do something in their mouth, open it, swallow the sunflower seed and spit out the shell. That's pretty incredible. So a settlement like this will probably have its own barrier that will open and close to come in and out. At the moment it's got one that's broken, and that's probably because the builders come back and forth. Someone probably got stuck, someone probably forced it open, and they've just left it as it is for now because it's going to happen again while people are building. And so once it's all done, it'll probably have a barrier, might have a security guard. They've already got like a public, like kind of private, I'd say, play area for the people that are living here. There might be a shop, but it'll be like a mini gated community. So these gated communities, or these purpose-built settlements, are becoming a lot more popular now in Russia, mainly because the price of an apartment isn't going to be much different to the price of a house, right? Especially if you're building like a single floor house. So where would you prefer to live? In an apartment or in a house? So all of these four are exactly the same, and they're the same style as a few others that I've seen here. So you can see one company's built this whole thing. It would be good if one company built that whole road, because then they could finish everything off and make it all nice, instead of just building a few of the houses on the road, because you've still got to wait for other people to build, right? So the next three are more like hobbies than habits, and they are banya, shashlik and freshwater swimming. When I first came to Russia and I was seeing Russian people jumping in the lakes and rivers and swimming, I thought they were crazy. But then a couple of years after being here, I did my first, well, I took my first dip in the lake, and suddenly I was, what's the word? I was hooked, because in the summer it's boiling hot, you want to cool off, and there's nothing better than after a day where it's boiling hot, jumping into a nice lake and having a splash around. Now, I'm not really an expert swimmer. In my childhood I did a bit of swimming, but nothing really major, so I just splash around really. I'm fine as long as I know I can stand up. And there's one lake that I like to go to in a town called, let me think of the name. I've forgotten the name. I'm going to tell you now. The town is called Pereslavl-Zalevsky. It's near to Rostov-Veliki, and there's a massive lake there. But the cool thing about the lake there is that you can walk 500 meters out, but the water is still only waist high, and it's such a weird feeling, because you know that you're miles away from the actual edge of the land, right, of the shore, but you can walk out, and you can probably walk over the whole thing. It's really weird. It's actually one of the places where the Russian Navy was first started. The person that created the Russian Navy lived there, and he used to test the boats there. But it's a really cool little town, Pereslavl-Zalevsky. Go check it out. And not far away is Veliki Rostov, and that's incredible as well. There's a huge monastery there and loads to see. So here you can see there's a all-weather basketball court, although it's weird, why don't they have goals here? Perhaps they'll put goals there after, because I don't know what it's like for bouncing the ball on there, as it's like an AstroTurf kind of feel. Perhaps they'll put football goals here too. The next habit that I've picked up is being hospitable. When someone comes to my house, I treat them like they're royalty. And that is something that I've picked up from the Russians. The Arab culture is similar. It's incredible the way that people treat you. I could be walking down the road and see someone I know, and they'll say, "Sam, come inside for a second, let's have a cup of tea." You'll be like, okay. So you go inside for a cup of tea. You don't really want to have a cup of tea because you've got stuff going on. They're like, sit down, have a cup of tea. And they'll put maybe some chocolate biscuits down next to the tea. And then maybe the wife will run in and say, all right, you having a cup of tea? Yeah, yeah, brilliant. Okay, she'll bring in some salad and maybe some olives, or, you know, some sort of dips or something. And then a minute later, they'll have a bag of chips open next to you. And then, you know, she'll be like, okay, give me a second. And you're like, what's going on? And suddenly there's a full course meal, like for a buffet. And that's what it's like when you go to a Russian person's house, and you didn't even want to really stop for the cup of tea, but you said that to be polite, and then suddenly you've got a full course meal. And so that's what I'm like as well. When people come to my house, I'm overly hospitable. So I buy copious amounts of alcohol and I don't even drink. And the reason that I buy that is so that I can pour drinks for people when they come around. My goal is to open a bar for my friends next to my house that I'm building, and so that when they come around, we have barbecue, I can sit the other side of the bar, make cocktails for them, pour them drinks, and just take part in the whole thing. But that's me now. I'm ridiculously hospitable. I love this style of house. What do you think? With a flat roof. So the next habit that I've picked up is swearing in Russian. A lot of Russians think it's really funny when a foreigner swears in Russian because it just sounds different and stupid perhaps, but I automatically swear in Russian. If I was to accidentally trip up now, I'd swear something in Russian. If I'm watching the football, I'll swear in Russian. If someone really annoys me, I'll swear in Russian. However, if I'm speaking English all day on the phone to people, perhaps I'll be in an English mindset, thinking in English, and I'll swear in English. But typically I swear automatically now in Russian, and I'm not going to tell you what I say because I've got another video coming on that topic anyway. Another thing that I say when I say something in amazement is "Uch ty," which means kind of like, ooh, wow, surprised, "Uch ty." Like something when you didn't expect something. That's what you'd say. And I say that all the time. That is something that Russians say all the time. It's just a, oh, I'm surprised. So I hear a lot of foreigners who are thinking of coming to Russia and they don't know many Russian words yet. That's understandable. And so they say paka-paka. So paka-paka is more something that a woman would say than a man. Like paka, once, yeah, but paka-paka is more kind of, I don't know, feminine. And I know where you guys all got it from, because the channel Natasha's Adventures, and at the end of each video she would say paka-paka, but obviously she's a woman, right? And so I would say davai paka. That's kind of like, okay, come on then, see you. And that's more of a man's thing to say. So at the end of a conversation, say, right, yeah, okay, davai paka. Sort of, come on, goodbye. Rather than paka paka is like, paka paka. It's a bit feminine-y. This is pretty cool, isn't it? All in black. Yeah, I like that. This is almost gothic. So the next Russian habit that I've picked up is shaking hands. Russian men shake hands with other Russian men, and it's something you do all the time. And it's kind of weird when you meet another foreigner that lives in Russia, because you still shake hands, but you're not really used to shaking hands with each other. In the UK, my white friends, I don't really have that many of them to be fair, but they don't shake hands. And then my Asian friends and black friends and Arab friends, we either shake hands or we cuff. We probably cuffed a lot more when we were younger. I'm guessing now we more shake hands than anything else. One really Russian habit that I have is not looking at people. Russians don't pay attention to other people because we don't smile at each other, to strangers. And so if we're walking somewhere, I don't look at other people. I could literally walk from here to the city centre and, you know, a few miles walk, and someone afterwards could say, oh, did you see the guy that was breaking into something? I'd be like, I have no idea, because I don't look at anyone. I just do my own thing, completely mind my own business, and don't look at people at all. So I have no idea who I walked past today, who was near me. I pay no attention to them, and that's a completely Russian thing. This one's interesting from this angle. I wonder if he's going to have, I'm sure in fact he will do. Look, I can see there's a door up there, and that whole area on that smaller level is going to be a balcony, look. And then finally, I use brackets as a smile when I write text. If I'm sending a message on WhatsApp or a text message or something on Telegram and I want to put a smiley face, I'll just put a little, yeah, what's it called? bracket. And that in Russia is a smile. So you don't need to put the dots or the tongue or anything like that. Just a bracket at the end is a smile. So hopefully that was interesting for you to learn a little bit about this kind of settlement, about Russian habits, and just about life in Russia. Now, if you're interested in coming to Russia and you want to have a free chat with me, go to my website, samsrussianadventures.com, and I'll help you with any kind of Russia related questions that you might have about coming here. Also, I have a Telegram chat group that you can join. We have about 2,000 members. You just go in there and ask any questions you want, and I kind of share day-to-day Russia related stuff in that group. And yeah, maybe if you are not subscribed, you'd consider subscribing to this channel, because that would be amazing. And leave me a comment, let me know if you have any Russian habits, things that you've picked up, or things you perhaps didn't know until I spoke about them in today's video. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye.